Hollywood is a factory of dreams, a shimmering mirage of success and beauty, but for those trapped inside the gears of the machine, it can quickly become a relentless factory of nightmares. We see the red carpets, the flashing bulbs, the diamonds, and the rehearsed smiles, but behind the velvet curtain lies a century-long history of broken souls and shattered lives. Today, Prestige Buzz is taking an unfiltered, exhaustive, and deep-dive look at 15 legendary actresses whose battles with alcoholism didn't just make tabloid headlines, they defined an era of tragedy, resilience, and systemic exploitation. This isn't a story about simple partying or the excesses of wealth, it's a profound examination of the human cost of fame in an industry that has historically valued a profit margin over a human life, often discarding its brightest stars the moment they lose their luster. The story of Judy Garland serves as the ultimate, heartbreaking cautionary tale of the predatory studio system. At MGM, she wasn't treated as a vulnerable child, but as a corporate asset. Fed pep pills to maintain 18-hour workdays and downers to force sleep at night, her body became a volatile chemistry set of dependencies before she was even old enough to vote. Alcohol eventually became her only shield against the world, leading to a spiral of financial ruin, cancelled shows, and her tragic death on a bathroom floor in London at only 47 years old. Similarly, Marilyn Monroe was the world's most desired woman but also its loneliest, using alcohol as a lethal chaser to the barbiturates she took to quiet her crippling anxiety. Prestige Buzz explores how this cycle made her a professional liability on sets like Some Like It Hot, where she struggled to remember basic lines, proving that even the most iconic faces can be hollowed out by the pressure of perfection. These stories of the Golden Age are joined by the harrowing account of Frances Farmer, whose refusal to conform led to her being brutally institutionalized after her drinking was used as a weapon to silence her difficult personality, and Veronica Lake, who plummeted from a $4,500 a week superstar to a forgotten cocktail waitress living in near poverty. As we move into the modern era of high-profile spirals, Prestige Buzz examines the life of Elizabeth Taylor, a woman who lived her entire life in the spotlight and endured over 70 hospitalizations. Taylor used alcohol to numb the physical agony of chronic back pain and the emotional grief of losing her husband, Mike Todd, before becoming a pioneer by checking into the Betty Ford Center and turning her struggle into global advocacy. This path of public struggle was mirrored decades later by Lindsay Lohan, who became the poster child for the child star curse of the 2000s. Her DUIs, court appearances, and the sheer volume of paparazzi scrutiny turned her career into a cautionary tale, eventually leading insurance companies to label her uninsurable, effectively freezing her out of the industry at the height of her talent. We also see the inherited demons of Hollywood royalty like Carrie Fisher and Liza Minnelli, both of whom grew up in the shadow of mothers who battled their own addictions. They transformed their pain into a different kind of power, Fisher through her sharp, self-deprecating wit and Minnelli through her raw honesty, stripping away the stigma of mental illness for future generations. For some, like the two-time Oscar winner Shelley Winters, the bottle was a refuge from the industry's brutal youth and beauty standards, a way to cope with the feeling of being marginalized as she aged. For others like Tallulah Bankhead, a legendary, gravel-voiced wit masked a physical deterioration that eventually silenced one of the most commanding voices in theater history. However, the narrative of Prestige Buzz isn't only one of loss, it is also one of miraculous, hard-won resurrection. Drew Barrymore reinvented the very concept of the comeback after being blacklisted from major studios by age 14, proving that emancipation and sobriety could lead to a billion-dollar empire. Natasha Lyonne returned from the brink of death, a collapsed lung, and a hepatitis C diagnosis to achieve a massive creative rebirth in shows like Russian Doll. Kristen Johnston, too, survived a terrifying medical emergency where her stomach lining literally ripped open due to hidden addiction, choosing to survive and become a powerful voice for those still struggling in silence. In the final, more reflective chapters of this deep dive, we look at the quiet erasure of stars like Gene Simmons and Bridget Fonda. Their stories represent a different side of the coin, not an explosion, but a fading out. Whether it was the toll of age-related health issues for Simmons or a conscious, private choice by Fonda to walk away from the spotlight following personal trauma, these exits illustrate that sometimes the only way to survive Hollywood is to leave it behind entirely. These 15 women were not just statistics or difficult starlets, they were human beings caught in a high-pressure vacuum that demanded impossible perfection at the cost of their sanity. Their collective legacies teach us about the extreme fragility of fame and the incredible power of the human spirit to reclaim its own story from the wreckage. Hollywood might want you to remember only the airbrushed glamour and the red carpet walks, but at Prestige Buzz, we believe in remembering the truth, the struggle, and the survival. If you found this deep dive into the shadows of the silver screen eye-opening, please help us keep telling these important stories. Like this video to support our investigative research and documentary work. Subscribe to Prestige Buzz to join our community and access our full library of feature-length Hollywood histories. Click the bell notification so you never miss an unfiltered exposé on the icons, scandals, and legends that shaped the world of entertainment.